What up, all my fight fans? We got ourselves one hell of a fight this coming Friday. Yes, that is Friday. It is not on a Saturday. It is a Friday. I am talking about Anthony Joshua taking on Francis Ngannou in a boxing match. Guys, got the highly anticipated return of Francis Ngannou. We last seen him in the ring against Tyson Fury, where he was able to knock down the Gypsy King. I believe it was in the third round, and unfortunately lose a split decision to the Gypsy King. But he pretty much silenced all critics. He pretty much silenced all doubters, and he became one of the baddest men on the planet, which is something we all knew he was already, but it almost pretty much established him even more. But now he's able to do it again. Right now we want to see if he's able to do it again. And we want to see if he's able to do it against another guy who was the former undisputed champion of the world, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is returning to the ring. I believe his last fight was against Robert Helenius. Excuse me if I'm getting that wrong. But, Anthony Joshua has looked really, really good as of late. He's been getting his groove back. I believe his new coach, Derek James, has been definitely making things work for him and such. So, yes, it's definitely going to be a very interesting fight. Why it's going to be an interesting fight? Because you got Anthony Joshua, who is a pure boxer, who is a very good technician. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough to beat the undisputed champion of the world, Alexander Usyk, but it still was a little bit more of a back and forth fight in that second fight, that second time around with those two. I'm sure we'll get a third down the line, but you never know. But nonetheless, prior to Alexander Usyk, he was the baddest man on the planet. He was the baddest dude in the heavyweight division. We of course want to see him against Tyson Fury, but that's another conversation for another day. But now we got Francis Ngannou, who is by far, outside of Deontay Wilder, you never know, the hardest hitting man in the heavyweight division. Hell, probably the hardest hitting man of all of boxing. Nobody wants to get hit by Francis Ngannou, whether you are in boxing or even MMA. So here we are. We got Francis Ngannou putting his power up on the line against Anthony Joshua, putting his technique on the line, his technical boxing ability on the line. Now, we've seen Anthony Joshua being able to knock out a few people in his recent fights, but can his chin hold up against someone who is very powerful, who can knock you out with the jab, Francis Ngannou? Guys, this is going to be a very interesting fight. We got power versus experience. We got technique versus, again, power. Good God, I can't say power enough, right? So nonetheless, guys, what happens if Francis Ngannou wins? I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, what can you do more? This guy literally was making $600,000 for his last MMA fight against Ciryl Gane back in 2021. Now he is making millions. He's up in there probably the 10, 20 million mark is for his Tyson Fury fight. You already know he's making double digits again for the Anthony Joshua fight. And if he wins, he could write his ticket all the way to the stars, because he is literally going to be the baddest man walking on this earth. And he would be just one fight away for potentially fighting for the undisputed championship of the world. Can you imagine that? Francis Ngannou, with next to no boxing experience, he has striking experience, but no boxing experience, becoming quite possibly the undisputed champion of the world with only 2 or 3, maybe even 4 fights. That is unheard of. That is legendary status. That is Hall of Famer status. That is by far God status. That's potential for Francis Ngannou. Now, as far as Anthony Joshua is concerned, if he does win, which is odds are definitely in his favor to win, he could definitely become a number 1 contender, or quite possibly fight his rival, that we all wanted him to see him fight, Tyson Fury. We definitely would love to see that fight. Him and Tyson Fury finally match up. The battle of these two Brits go toe-to-toe with each other. I would love it. Or, of course, you could fight another potential blockbuster opponent in Deontay Wilder. Those, yeah, definitely all fights for sure I would love to see. All fights. The heavyweight division is on fire, guys, and I'm very much looking forward to this fight. It is Friday. It's in Saudi Arabia. I believe the walkout time for these two guys is about 3:30ish. So definitely don't get it twisted, guys. Remember, it is Friday. It's not Friday night. It's more like Friday afternoon. 3:30 is probably the main event. If you are in the specific time, Eastern time, you're probably going to be around 5:30, 6:30, around that time. So you definitely check your local listings. Check your time schedules regarding this fight. But don't want to miss it. There's going to be a lot of unanswered questions into this fight. I'm very excited for this fight. Guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and let me know what you think is going to win in this fight. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua.